Hanging with the Joneses, episode 23.
What episode? 3? I think it's 23.
23. Anyway, I'm Rashad.
And I'm Kesha.
And today, just gonna have a, just conversation about things. All right. Namely, just what's going on right now. Some current events, and just how I feel about stuff. First off, so how has it been working from home and also having us being at home at the same time while we're doing school from home?
If it was that easy, you were home all the time. That would make it an easier question. This virtual training and working home from school, working home, it's been a task. The days Rashad goes into work are the days that are like my heaviest days, which is I have like meetings all day long or clients. It's like my heaviest days. And I've been trying to get where I'm trying to see what all the girls are doing, but maybe the youngest one because she's only in kindergarten. So trying to keep her on target and make sure she's in her classes on time, which she already haven't been consistently. Because this is the thing. Makes me nervous about if I do have to go back in to the hospital, because I can't let it can't be the children our other girls' responsibility to help our youngest one.
But it kind of will have to be the responsibility.
That's what I'm hoping that I don't, because just even from that, I'm in the meeting all day long. I'm like, hey, make sure your sister get in and do what she has to do, and I'm sitting there and the baby girl is sitting there with her tablet, like watching TV on her, and I'm like, what are you doing? And I'm like, why you didn't put her in her next class? And they're just like, oh,
yeah,
oh, I forgot. So she missed school probably like twice already from virtue, and I'm just like, it's just so those 2 days when you aren't here. They are so stressful because I'm in meetings back to back. I'm like, my schedule's so heavy.
Yeah.
They try to take time out and like, hey, do this. And then also, when I'm on the phone talking to people, they always come in. All of them. Ma. And they be like, it's simple stuff like, Ma, can I have a snack? You just ate breakfast. It's like 9:30. You can't. Can you have a snack? Go.
Oh, man.
5 minutes. Ma, can I have a snack? I just told you a few minutes ago, and I'm on the phone. And I'm talking through the mom, angry mouth. I'm like, trying to be quiet. Quiet. And it's been an ordeal. It's been, however, after saying all the frustration, I would not want them to go to school, and I don't want to turn back going into the office. I do not. I wish you could be home doing those. It's like all the days that I need you to be here. Those are the 2 days when you go to the office, and I'm like, no, those are the days like I really need you here.
Yeah, it's weird. Just even how the whole thing is set up. So, and that's been like the hardest part for me is just trying to actually adjust to it. And it's like I don't know. Like I wish we were just home the whole time.
Yeah.
So I won't have to like jump from work from home today, from school today. You know what I'm saying? Then like to me it feels like because we got like an even odd schedule. So in my mind I'm like today's an odd day. Like nah, it's really an even day. So that whole thing really is it has been a hard transition for me, and even for a lot of the kids, a lot of my students. So. And a lot of the parents, too, because even going back to the whole thing about being home and having, like making sure your kids get on and stuff, there are a lot of kids who are just basically having to be left at home because their parents work.
They have no choice, yeah.
And they have younger siblings, so they got to make sure everybody's up, everybody's fed, everybody's on, because now there is no staggered schedule, so everybody's on at the same time.
It is. It's rough.
And it creates and it's creating a lot of other issues that a lot of people aren't really. I'm not sure they haven't thought about it, but the totality of it really wasn't given a lot of credence. For example, just the sheer amount of people on the internet at the same time.
We had that issue
There's like
too.
a lot of people just online at 8:30 in the morning.
Hmm.
So that would actually have our LMS, I'm sorry, learning management system. So if you went to college in the past 20 years, then you know about Blackboard. We have one called Canvas. So Canvas in the morning is slow. I mean, it's hard to navigate. Even as the teacher on my end, I'm like, I basically have to run it by memory because I can't go back and click on something sometimes because it'll just take that long to load. So it's been a very challenging time to having to have technology be so cumbersome when it should be a
Hmm.
help, and
Yeah.
that's been a
And I
difficult
think
part.
that staggering schedule, like all of them be scheduled at the same time. And that's another issue where I can't say the older children help out the youngest one because all of them online at the same time.
Yeah.
So I can't like they're like I'm in class right now. So I can't say get out of the class, help her. You know what I mean? So it's been an ordeal. It's really been difficult. And and his perspective is as a teacher. My perspective as a parent. Um, I feel like the public schools didn't really prepare us a lot. You can't say that. I'm saying the public schools didn't really prepare us for a lot. I feel like when we knew that we was going virtual, we should have got instructions then. Instead, it was like the week before school was like, here's the paperwork, here's your computer. It was just too rush. It was just too rush. I'm like, when you knew that we were going virtual, but you have known that for a while now, why didn't you start preparing? Instead of now a week of before school is all I feel like it's all this rush and nothing is really planned out or really working because it really wasn't thought about. It was just here's something to get them started. But then the first day of school, like everybody crashed, and it was like y'all didn't see this coming. This was. So I also really feel like not every school district. I heard some school districts there were more planning, but just some there weren't, and I was in where they were not. And being that I have three children in different age groups, it was like, oh my gosh! I ended up having to call in the school. It's like, hey, what you doing? Like, are we gonna get something? Are we gonna? Are you gonna tell us what to do? Like the beginning of class, and especially for kindergartners, what do we do? And it was like, oh, we're gonna send something out. We'll send something out. Like this school starts next week.
Hmm.
It shouldn't be we gonna send something out. Something should have been sent out. And I should be just calling you and say, hey, I'm a little confused. No, as opposed to, hey, y'all, we started school this year. Like, what's going on? So he can't say anything because he works for the public school. But as a parent, I could. That I felt like more planning could have been done. I also think it's crazy for the teachers to have to come to work. Like, why can't they stay home? And I feel like as a teacher, they might put you in a certain situation because if you don't have childcare, then it's like, okay, you're taking care of other people's children and you have to go in, but what about your children? And I'll get nervous about the day that I'm have to be told come back in the office. If it's not equipped, if it's not on the same page where they're told they have to come back to school, I don't know what we're gonna do. I really don't. And then even people was like, no, putting their kids in before after care. To me, I don't want to do that because that's the same as going to school with this COVID. So I really don't know what I'm going to do. So I'm hoping that we kind of, when we go back to school, if they go back to school, it kind of, if I have to go back to work, they will all be around the same time. Not me going back before them, you know. And I'm really hoping that they don't go back this year. And me too. I don't have to go back this year. But just that parents, like, how are you doing with it? Like, how I know some of my coworkers, this is a great deal of stress. And for the teachers, how are you doing with it?
It's hard. It's a transition in teaching modality. That's one.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to kind of shift how you think in regards to how you're going to deliver the content. And that's been very, very challenging. One reason because, 4 days a week. Friday is like remediation and consults, and like like
That's me
yeah,
consults.
yeah, yeah, like remediation, and you get small group stuff if you need to, but still it's early on in the school year, so not a whole lot that's going on yet. So right now it's having to really rethink how you teach,
Yeah.
and then the way, because of the schedule, like for me it's very hard for me to actually come up with a pattern. Like, of course, you already you've been listening for a while. I thrive off structure and pattern. Like, I need a schedule, and it's harder for me to kind of get into a groove. And plus, very little rapport building you can do
Yeah.
online. So it's not, so they kids, like, they see me, but they really don't know me.
And their cameras off.
Yeah, and most of them had their cameras off because it's not a requirement for us. So for them, rather, we have to, but they don't really have to. So I can't really interact with them how I usually would. They don't really know who I am. They don't understand any sort of subtleties and nuances and idiosyncrasies that we all may have, that of course
Online.
you pick up on face to face.
Yeah. And you don't know who your kids are face to face.
Nah, I just like see their pictures.
If they
And
have any, right?
no, yeah, if they have a picture in our attendance. But other than that, like, nah, like, I'm just trying to, like, I was telling one of my coworkers I basically had to run class like it's IG Live, and they was like, really? I said, yeah. I said, yeah. I mean, because there's some sort of, like, quote unquote equity issue about having a camera on, so I'm not gonna make a requirement of something that I can't. So I just run it the best way I can. Sometimes people don't even want to, like, speak. They want to unmute their mic. I'm like, well, like, unmute your mic. At least speak so I can hear what you
Yeah,
guys
I do
say.
that too.
So it's a lot of
I do that too, though.
yeah, like it's a lot of different ways and tactics you have to actually employ to get people to really understand. And another aspect of how parents are really overstepping their boundaries in regards to their kids' education, because there's some people who are at home but may not have a job, may just be like a working mom, or like a home at home mom, at home dad, and they're just basically over kids' shoulders, and it's clearly evident.
How they work?
Not this how the amount of correspondence you get,
Okay.
and what type of correspondence that you're getting from them.
Okay.
So it's clearly that they're, like, super involved over here, like a legit helicopter parent. And now that the kid is at home, they have total control of what's going on, and they think that they can kind of have control of how you do things in your class.
Oh,
So
I didn't think about that, but I can see that.
yeah, so think about it. Like, you at home, your kid, you ain't got nothing to do, and you can literally sit down and watch your kid go to school.
For me, and I'm that helicopter mom. I don't want much.
But I'm saying,
I can see how
yeah,
there's some parents like, yeah, let's see how we're gonna do it. Oh, what? No, that ain't right. I can see
because
it. Yeah.
there's a lot of curiosity when it comes to who is my child's teacher, what did it look like, how do they talk, like, I wonder how they think, how do they do all this, because you can't see me. You know what I'm saying? Like if this was like regular school. So
Right.
there's a bit of, like, not, I can't say, there's a bit of
Right. I can see
mystery
that.
when it comes to
Because they don't know how you teach either. They don't know what
exactly.
content. Or,
Yeah, and then you trying to make this sort of, like, summation based on how you see me do this via, basically Zoom, which is not really how I do this in real life. Because it could be a total mischaracterization, total misjudgment, because how I have to deliver this online is not how I deliver this face to
and the
face.
time is not the same. That's
Nah,
another thing. So when you're in class, you might have how many times?
I mean, like 90 minutes.
90 minutes
And now
as
we got like
opposed to online.
45.
Right.
So,
So you have to condense a 90-minute material into, I'm going to say 35, 40 minutes for
yeah,
real.
yeah. So what happens is now you have the impetus being placed on the student. So there's a lot more responsibility being laid on the student and of course the parents' feet because of what's going
It's
on.
independent learning.
Yeah, you're gonna have to learn some of this stuff on your own. You know, and there's a certain population of kids who either aren't used to doing that or really can't do that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Or both.
or both. You know, or just don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not like since there's nobody here to say I can't do this. I'm just not going to do it. And then like when we get interims coming in a few weeks and like everybody has like a 45 or like a 60, I'm gonna get a flood of emails saying, "What can my child do to get their grade up?" And I'm gonna be like, "Do the work." I'm not even like, and like, you know me, how I teach, like, I'm going to try to give you the work that you need. I'm not going to give you much of extra stuff. I don't believe in like, you know, just giving work to give work for busy work. Like now, if I'm doing it, it's going to be strictly based on our, you know, our curriculum and also what you're going to need. But just if you just did the work, you'd pass.
And see, and even like you said, the sometimes parents, the overflow emails. To me, some of it, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense because you have complaints about the system. It's not the teachers. Definitely, the teachers are being told how to do this. It's not you going up if you want to. You're targeting the wrong people. Call your board. Call the school board and say, hey, I don't like this or whatever. I always say like why are you talking to the principal, the teachers? I mean, they really can't do anything. They following what the principal said, and the principal following what the school board said. Contact your local school board and say, hey, I got problems, and flood them with email. Don't contact the teacher. Now, if it's something related to class, okay, but if you don't like the way like the system is set up or the app is used, that's not them. That's the school board. If you don't like that it's 45 minutes, once again, that's not them. That's the school board. And you can't expect that what's usually done in 90 minutes is going to be done in the 35, 40 minutes. It's not because I said 35, 40 because I know when my daughters, the first half is just getting the computer right. Getting the buffer. You connected? They connected? Mute your mic. How many of that? And waiting for other people to come on. And then then you finally get the material, and by the time you get up, it's over. It's time to be done. And then even going back, you say the time being scheduled. Even when he's home, it's difficult because everyone's on the same time. So he's in his class, one room. I got the girls in their room. I got one in my room, and it's like everybody's at the same time. So when I'm in the meeting, I'm trying like, hold on. Try to pause it for a minute. Go help the baby out. Because everyone's live together, you know. So it's been
It's a challenge, y'all.
it's
Like
been a rock.
and
However, our baby that's in kindergarten, I see her learning a lot doing this virtual,
she is.
and I'm like, how? I'm ready. How? Because the kindergarten, their time frame is even smaller.
Yeah, it has to be.
It's like really, it's only 2 lives. And the rest is independent learning. You know what that is. So it's only 2 live for 30 minutes.
Basically.
And then even the 30 minutes, since they kindergartens and their attention span, I know my baby's like, Mom, she said A for apple. Like, put your earphones back on. So even in that 30 minutes, that is long for kindergarten. But honestly, for the kindergarten, they only have 2 lives. And I do see her learning a lot. And it's funny because we was teaching her since last year, like reading. She's getting reading now where she can kind of read. But these 2 lives, I don't know, I think it is, not I think. Something about being around her peers, even though it's virtue, and being around a teacher who really you teach kindergartens.
Yeah.
She is grabbing stuff like, I'm like, oh my gosh, how did she get this? We're only in week 3 of school.
Yeah, and so like another thing about that too, especially for high school, we have, like I said, an AB schedule. So when it comes to rapport building and actual continuity of teaching, it's harder because we don't see these kids every day. So for me and Maddie, like they see their teachers like every day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they can have like what's called, for kindergarten, they got to send me every day. For middle school, they can have 2 synchronous live, but 2 asynchronous where they don't just get work. But some teachers are doing synchronous every day. You know what I'm saying? Just so they can get into a flow and actually have, continuity with stuff. With me, like, I can't do that because the way our schedule's set up, we're not set up for that.
Right.
So
And once again, that's not a teacher
that's
issue.
not
You need to go to your board.
that's school board issue.
That's the school board.
They,
But I'm with you with the report building because I don't feel like there's any rapport building with none of them. Be honest with you.
Nah, I mean, because it's more.
And none with me. I can't remember their names.
Because thinking about from a teacher, like it has, because you're not even concerned about building rapport like right now. You're more concerned about making sure everything works straight and you delivering content. Like building rapport. You hope that comes over time, but making sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and on top of all the additional things that we have to do that really get talked about. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot. So
how many times as a parent I'm like, I am overwhelmed, especially when teachers send me emails. Thank you for sending me emails, but I have no idea who you are and what child you're teaching. I got 3 children. So I'm saying, it's now my middle school. She got several teachers. So you send me emails. I'm asking him, like, does this teacher sound like somebody who's in your school?
I don't know.
It'd be helpful, and this is a teacher. They helpful teachers. If you emailing the parent, put the child's name in there so we can know.
Yeah, but like if I'm sending mass emails to my whole class, I'm not about to sit there and individually type everybody's name in each individual email.
But that's another thing. I don't know if it's individual, because of course when the email, everybody's blind copy, so you don't know. I don't know if it's an individual email or this is a mass email too. So some of the stuff, I'm like, the teacher emailing me saying X, Y, and Z, then like, no, they showed me, it's like, oh, that was a mass email. I don't necessarily, when you do the blind copy, I don't know there's a blind copy.
Yeah, because you don't want to have everybody else emailing.
Right, which is HIPAA.
Yeah.
I said, but you understand me? I'm just getting this one single copy, so it make it seem like
it's for you.
It's for me.
Oh, you think you that special?
No. No. But you don't know, and with this time, I don't ever want to assume that it's not for me.
True.
Like, did I send you 50 million emails? Oh, but I just discard them because I thought you sent that to everybody. So it would be helpful, or even if you say this is from such and such school system.
Oh, this is for
And that might be helpful.
Sixth
grade,
or the class.
or this is for 10th grade.
I know some of them do that. I've seen that.
Yeah, and you've seen the ones I have. I'm like, who is this, and who is it for? And especially this is world history. Well, we got 2s in world history. I have no idea.
Yeah, so it has been a bit of virtual insanity, and I hope that some of these things get resolved with time and just everybody getting used to it, because we're almost at the halfway point of the quarter.
What's it, 9 weeks?
It's 9 weeks. So we're almost at the 4.5. We'll be there in about a week or so. So some of this stuff is starting to get kind of ironed out just by sheer attrition. And other things are going to happen because changes have to be made. So, but either way, it would definitely be in everybody's best interest. And I mean, I say this as a parent and as a teacher, is just to have patience with everybody. So whether you are a parent, you need to have patience with your child. You need to have patience with the teachers, and even with like admin too, because everybody is under an immense amount of stress when it comes to having to, especially for us learning a new learning management system, having to deal with the failings of it in regards to how we can't sometimes get on, like I've been in where I had conferences and things set up and I'm in it and then I totally drop out of it. Or my video go out, or my sound go out. So stuff like that, like technological issues that we can't really control. And even you as a parent yourself, like you have to be patient with yourself, because you have never experienced this before. So there's an amount of anxiety that you have that I can see and clearly read. You feel what I'm saying? Or you just want to be so on top of what your child is doing that you won't let them actually be the whatever grades your child is. You feel what I'm saying? So, because the expectations that you have, and they're all veiled, and I want a child to do the best and excellence and all other good stuff. But still, there is a amount of want and invested interest that you have in that child, in you, for your child to do good too.
But everybody wants their child to be a star. I want to feel like doing the best.
Yeah.
But you know what I do think about in this? Because when I used to work in social services, a lot of the calls that came in for child abuse were from the schools.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and when it's summertime, it was kind of like dead because the schools were out, so we wasn't getting as many calls. Now I wonder, with school being virtual, I need to ask some of my people in social services, have they seen a difference in calls coming in? Is it the same? Is it
That's interesting.
Because now I'm like, you don't see the kids, and they had the option of just not to show my camera, and then they're in an abusive situation. The parent, the abuser, whatever, is already around.
Yeah.
There's no way for them to go and report.
Yeah, that's a whole.
I really thought about that. I was like, I wonder if they're going up, down, or is it the same?
Yeah, I don't know.
So then I think because of working in mental health and working in social services, I do wonder if there's some kids that are being abused, are they being able to get out of that? You know, having someone to tell.
Yeah. Yeah. I was about to kind of wrap this up. That's a very, very low note to end this song. Oh, yeah.
No, it's not. High note. Let's go high. Despite sometimes wanting to pull our hair out, we are doing it. All the parents out there, we're doing it.
Yeah, definitely. So I would definitely, again, like, you got to give yourself some grace. Like, you can't. Oh, and I'm done after this. Seriously, like the big thing too.
Just ending.
Yeah. It's my second one. Praise God. Don't try to put your stress on somebody else to make it their stress too. Like, for me, like, I don't offer like that. Like, you can't put your stress on me and expect me to move faster because you're stressed. Like, that's not how the world works.
We say that mental health, like, your crisis doesn't equal my crisis.
Yes. So when it comes to, like, parents dealing with kids and even dealing with teachers and principals a whole nine, like, I understand it's stressful. I'm not going to put my stress on any of my students. It's not fair because they don't understand and or care about the stuff that's going on. They just know that I got class at 8:30 and my teacher's going to be there. You know? So there has to be some level of give and take on both sides, whether you're a parent, whether you're a teacher, or whether you're any sort of caregiver. Because a lot of kids have older brothers and sisters, and grandparents and uncles and aunts, foster parents, whatever the situation is, whatever type of caregiver you are in regards to your kids, like, make sure you give yourself some grace.
That's a good end note.
Thank you.
That's a real ending.
Yeah, it was better than the other one. So, as always, we thank you guys for coming and watching or listening in the pod. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and we'll be back next week.
Yep. Next week is 24, maybe.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right, guys.
Have
thanks.
a good week.